Welcome to Australians Abroad, your expat mortgage and tax guide. The ultimate resource for Australian expats and foreign investors looking to navigate the complex world of buying property and fulfilling tax obligations in Australia. Join us as we break down financing, purchasing and owning properties down under, providing essential insights to maximise your returns. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a newcomer, our candid discussions and expert advice will empower you to invest in Australian real estate with confidence. Subscribe now and embark on your journey to success in the Australian property market. In today's episode, we'll cover borrowing power in home loans, factors that influence it, strategies to boost it, using online calculators, and consulting with a mortgage broker experienced in expat and overseas lending. We'll also discuss the importance of understanding your financial standing when buying a home as an expat or foreign investor. Today, we're exploring the fascinating world of home loans. Whether you're dreaming of purchasing your own slice of paradise in Australia or considering an investment down under, this episode is tailor-made for you. We're going to delve into the concept of borrowing power and why it's absolutely crucial for Aussie expats looking to secure a home loan. And of course, we'll also be sharing some actionable tips on how you can increase your borrowing power. So, what exactly is borrowing power? Well, simply put, it's the amount of money that a lender is willing to lend you based on your financial circumstances. Lenders take into account various factors such as your income, expenses, and credit history to determine this figure. It's a key consideration when applying for a home loan because it directly influences the amount you'll be able to borrow. Now, let's talk about how you can boost your borrowing power. First and foremost, working on improving your Australian credit score is a great place to start. Most expats have limited credit activities in Australia and their credit inquiries are relatively fewer, hence paying your debts on time is essentially all you need to worry about. Lenders want to see that you're a responsible borrower that is not at risk of defaulting on the loan. This is especially important to them as you're based overseas, which is seen as a higher flight risk. Something interesting to note is that the lenders in Australia do not carry out credit checks overseas, and because of this, the lenders simply rely on what information you provide on your application as evidence of your financials. Technically, a good credit score doesn't increase your borrowing capacity. Rather, it's the difference between getting your loan accepted or declined. Let's now dive into some important factors that determine how much you can borrow. First up, we have income. It's not just about the amount you earn, but also the stability of your income source that matters. Lenders want to see consistency and reliability. Remember that overseas income and assets are taken into account by lenders when assessing expat borrowing power, not just Australian property rental income or assets. Next, we have living expenses. Lenders take a peek into your monthly spending habits. Having a high income is great, but if your expenses are equally high, it might not bode well for your borrowing power. The lenders want to see your last 3 months' bank statements showing salary credit and living expenses. Keeping your expenses in check prior to a loan application can positively impact your borrowing capacity. Now, let's tackle the ever-looming debt. How much you owe and how responsibly you've managed your past debts play a crucial role. Lenders want to see if you have a good track record of repaying your obligations, including credit history outside of Australia should you have any. Having assets such as properties or valuable possessions can also showcase your financial responsibility and commitment. Job status can sometimes pose challenges, especially if you're self-employed or have a part-time job. But don't worry, there are loan options tailored for you too. Some non-bank lenders understand that not everyone has a traditional employment situation, and these specialist lenders would be your go-to. Lastly, your lifestyle can be a unique aspect that influences the way lenders view your application. If you're an expat, certain lenders may consider factors like your country of residence and the currency you earn in when assessing your borrowing power. This one has the most influence in how much you can borrow, as your country's income tax rates and currency are discounted differently depending on the lender. It can mean the difference between borrowing $200,000 or $1 million. So, when it comes to borrowing, consider these key factors that can impact your ability to borrow and make informed decisions. Alright listeners, now it's time to dive into the good stuff. We're going to give you 10 solid strategies that will supercharge your borrowing power. Let's get right into it. First up, mastering your credit score. It's crucial to understand where you stand, and if your score is on the lower end because of late payments, take steps to improve it. Trust me, a higher credit score means getting your loan approved or not at all. You can get a free credit report from Equifax Australia. Next, let's talk about reducing debts, especially the unsecured ones. The less debt you have, the more power you have to borrow. It's that simple. Now, here's something interesting to ponder. Lowering the credit limits on your unused credit cards will work in your favour as an expat borrower. The lenders assess credit card limits at 46% interest rate regardless of whether you use the card or not. When it comes to home loans, choose wisely. Different types of loans have different impacts on your borrowing power. If you select interest-only repayments, you will end up borrowing less because lenders amortize the loan based on the remaining principal and interest loan term. Therefore, selecting principal and interest repayments will increase your borrowing power over interest-only loans. Let's not forget about cutting unnecessary expenses. Take a good look at your subscriptions and splurges. It might be time to downsize and redirect that money towards your borrowing power. Consider teaming up with your partner for a joint property purchase. But keep in mind that combining incomes with a partner of different nationality status can add complexity for expats and overseas borrowers, such as stamp duty implications and lender restrictions. Seek expert advice in such cases. Now, here's an interesting twist. Longer-term mortgages are worth considering. Yes, they accrue more interest over time, but they give you a cash flow flexibility and increase your borrowing power. 30-year loan term is typically the longest you can go for. Staying organised with your finances is crucial, especially if you're an expat. Clear financial records can help you present a strong case when you're looking to borrow. Having an Australian bank account and address also helps demonstrate ties to Australia. Lastly, don't be afraid to seek expertise. Consult a specialist mortgage broker who can provide tailored advice based on your unique situation. They have the knowledge and solutions to help you maximize your borrowing power. Alright folks, let's begin the next segment where we're going to tackle the topic of calculating and consulting on borrowing power. Now, I'm sure you're all eager to know where you stand in terms of borrowing power. Well, there's good news for you. You can get a preliminary estimate by using an online borrowing power calculator. It's as simple as inputting a few key details such as your income, expenses, and debts. Just be aware that these online tools provide a ballpark figure, and they may not account for your individual circumstances or the appropriate foreign income discounting. That's where personalised advice from Odin Mortgage comes into play. We can provide a comprehensive view tailored specifically to your unique situation, advising you of exactly how much you can borrow and from which lender. We'll take into consideration factors that the online calculator might overlook, like your employment history, foreign income and country tax rates, overseas assets, and any other relevant financial details. Well, that's a wrap for today. We delved deep into the intricacies of borrowing power, and I hope this information aids your home buying journey, whether you're an Aussie expat or a foreign resident. It's important to remember that finding your dream property isn't just about finding the perfect house or apartment. It involves understanding your financial situation, making smart choices, and taking action. If you're hungry for more knowledge and want to dig deeper into this topic, I highly recommend reaching out. Our mortgage experts are there to guide you every step of the way and provide invaluable advice tailored to your specific expat needs. So, keep on hunting for that dream home. Don't be afraid to explore all your options and ask questions. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions that align with your financial goals. And who knows, your dream home might be just around the corner. Until next time, happy house hunting. May you find the perfect place to call home.